Welcome back to my orchid and plant life. Today we are going to repot 3 of the 6 Phalaenopsis that I purchased from Brookside Orchids back on the 14th. Well, I received them on the 14th of July, but I wanted to kind of show you guys something when I'm talking about crappy moss. So this is the good moss. Now this is a better grow and it's nice and tan. And then the moss that I ordered from Amazon, which was also the better grow, which was also what that was supposed to be, is this. See how dark it is? And I would like to say it's due to the charcoal that's in this mix along with the perlite, but it's not. It is very stringy. I have spent a good hour just getting stuff that's good enough, and there's some that's not. So next spring they all will be repotted, depending on how quickly I can get the moss that I like in. I might just repot them then if they haven't settled too much. But let's get on with our repotting. So I did get these from Brookside back on the 14th, like I said, and I'll post a video up top and then down below of the unboxing. I was going to wait until I could get the good moss, but I was watering these yesterday and the moss was taking a really long time to go through the pot. So that indicates to me that this moss is now starting to get compacted, or the roots are so compacted the water can't get through. Either way, I can't wait. So the first one we're going to repot is the Phalaenopsis Mini Mark. It is flowering size. And we'll just squeeze the quart here. And I didn't bring my plastic tray, so this box is going to get wet, but that's okay. Okay. And I'm going to take some of the moss out first, grab her from the base, because right now I can't even get to the base. And there's nice roots showing, and I see some root tips, so that's good. Make this, and I'm just putting them back in moss, perlite, and some charcoal. And I actually put extra charcoal in there just because, and you know, that moss might be just fine and it's just the look of it, but it just looks dirty. All right, so we've got enough where I can get to the base, and let's squeeze her out and let's look at our roots that we have. Hopefully we have a lot. And she does have her seedling plug in there as well. Oh, that's a nice pretty root with a nice beautiful root tip growing on that one. Okay. All right. And I would like to thank everyone who has subscribed. I happened to notice today I have 99 subscribers. I wasn't paying attention and I was like, oh, well, that is really nice. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. I truly appreciate it. And if you guys can let me know what I can do in the future to do better videos, or tell me what you'd rather see than what I'm doing, I'll be more than happy to give my subscribers what they want. All right, so we do have a couple that are broken, but all the roots are really good. I don't really have to take any off. I am going to trim back the ones that do have the cracks in them, just because there are enough, and it's just like 1, maybe 2. So let's do that and get that settled out. So I will put her in there and we'll clean them all up at one time. Let's just take them out of their pots together and put that over there so it can start airing out. All right, so the next one we're going to repot or take out is the Phalaenopsis Ying's Black Eagle. All right, and this one already has a root tip growing here and a root tip growing on this side. So she doesn't have any new leaf growth or anything. And the Mini Mark is not showing any leaf growth, but it, like I said, it does have several root tips that are starting. So when I get her out of here, I'm going to have to make sure not to damage those new roots that are coming, because they are right there at the base. I have to figure out, I'll probably have to pull her out from the sides like so. Let's just see if we can just squeeze up under there. There we go, yeah. Oh yeah, she's in there really snug as a bug too. And you can already see the new root tips. And this moss is pretty compacted in here, so that might be why that water just did not want to flow through yesterday. Okay. It's coming off really easy, which I like to wet the moss before I take it off because it does tend to come off easier than when it's dry. Some people like to do dry media when they repot. Again, it's just all a matter of personal preferences and what you have found works for you. Making sure that it's wet just happens to work for me. Okay, so not much cleanup on her. Actually, I don't see anywhere I need to clean her up at all. Look at that. All right, look at all those new root tips growing on there. That is lovely, just lovely. All right, we'll put her back in there. Whoop, maybe not. We'll just set her up. All right, and then this one is the Phalaenopsis Bellina Coerulea. There. And she's the one that was working on the new leaf. I don't see any roots on the base, but let's see what we've got in the pot here. We have a broken root tip, so let me just take her out before I damage anything else. See if I can get in there without, oh, she's in there snug. Oh, look at that. Look at those root tips. That is great. So they should be just fine. And I'm putting them back in, excuse me, the same media that they came out of. So, and I believe these were all grown from seedlings just because, one, they're flowering size. So these are mature, these are juveniles now. I'm saying once they get to flowering size, I call them juveniles. They're no longer really seedlings. They're juveniles. So this one does have a root I need to cut off right here at the base just because it's a little old and tired looking. But other than that, a little piece right there. But she does have quite a few root tips growing, and like I said, she's got those 2 new roots at the base that are also wanting to grow in. So let's get to trimming, and we'll just start with her since we already have her here. All this moss came out for 3 little pots like this. It just amazes me how much moss nurseries use. Okay, and where was the other one? Oh, it was at the base, so let's just clip that back. All right, again, I'm going to go on about my fiskers. These little pointy fisker cutters was able to get this little tiny root here from the base, and there were other roots in the area. So had I tried that with the bigger secateurs, then they probably would have clipped and cut more root than I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this one down with some hydrogen peroxide. Take that piece of moss right there off. All right, and then while she is doing her fizzing, I am going to go ahead and trim the next one. Keep them all in their right respective areas so I don't mix them up. Okay, then let's see, so this one actually does not have any, let me see, well, nope, this one doesn't have any roots that need to be trimmed off. Let's see, I'm going to leave those. Normally I would pull seedling leaves off of Phalaenopsis, but those are our hybrids, and since these are not hybrids, they're species or species mixes, and they don't have the vigorous and forgiveness that our store-bought phals have, so I will leave those seedling leaves on and just let her naturally absorb those. And then for our mini mark here, this one here. And I'm not cleaning the fiskers in between because they all came from the same nursery. Now this one I will take off just because of that damage right there. And I just don't want to take any chances that that might be a bacterial infection. It just looks like mechanical damage, but I don't want to take that chance. All right, and then I'm going to clip this because there we go. All right, and then we'll spritz her down real quick. Okay, and then while those are fizzing, I thought I would go ahead and also repot the Sogo Vivienne that Nicole sent me from Nicole Deanna's channel, because she is in here rather snug as well. And again, I had to actually soak her for about an hour for the moss to really get absorbed in there. So I'm gonna see if I can just, ooh, and I could. Sorry there, Mr. Eagle. All right, let's see if we can, there we go. She's got some very healthy roots on the inside, which is good. There is one here that is, let me go ahead and cut it off because it is completely gone. Oh, you know what? I almost messed that up, didn't I? Grab some coffee real quick. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday. I am filming this on Friday, July the 30th. I'm saying that for you guys as well as for my records, just in case I'm forgetful. Of course, you know that never happens. We never forget anything, do we? And she does have a new root growing right here at the base. Can you see that? Little root right there. Okay. And I probably should have changed my glove, but again, I know they've got the vaccine and things are getting better, but I don't want to waste if I can help it. And this is cool. Come on, come around. So I'm going to peel the Bellina. No, I'm just going to have to cut that whole thing off because she is soggy and wet all the way to there. I thought I could maybe save it until she's done transitioning over, which I'm putting her in the same mix. And again, depending on when I get the moss that I like in, I may do a quick repot of all of these into the better moss. I'm just going to order, I used to order a block. It was a big dry block, but it was only about that thin, but it would swell up to the larger ones. I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet and spend the money and order one or two of those, because at least I know I'm going to get what I ordered. Because I went to try to order some more and it will be available soon. So I went ahead and added it into my basket just to kind of see if I could get an idea of how soon. Well, we're talking the middle of August. So I don't want to wait that long for these girls. Let's see. Yeah, we're just going to cut her off too because most of that is gone. All right, Miss Vivienne, you're running out of roots here. I'm gonna need you to settle down a little bit. Yep, and then that one needs to go. All right, and if you have the Sogo Vivienne, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. And I know that there's a Care Collab group that is doing that, and I've already let Nina know that I would love to be a part of that next update. Obviously, depending on when it is. If it's like next week, then I'm not going to be able to do anything because I wouldn't have had her long enough to really speak on her as far as how she does in my care. And we are going to leave that one there. All right, let's spray her. Not because I think there's anything wrong with her, but just out of habit. Because like I said, she did come from Nicole Deanna, but again, she is still in that nursery pot as well. But I figure if Nicole didn't have any issues, I doubt I will either. So we'll let her sizzle for a little bit. And let's start with our mini mark. Move all that out of the way. Peeks. There we go. All right, I'm just going to move all that over to the side. And we will, hold on, let me take this off real quick. Now I am going to use another glove to pot. And that's one of the reasons I didn't switch gloves between the Phalaenopsis either, is because that charcoal in there irritates my skin. So Don't want that. All right, and so I do have a little bowl here where I'm just gonna rinse them off. They're little orchids. They don't require being taken to the sink and washed off and sprayed down, all that good jazzy stuff. All right, and the pots that I'm going to put the Brookside Orchids Phalaenopsis in are these 4.5-inch that I get off of Amazon, and I'll leave the link down below. No affiliation, so put that out there. I'm so disgusted with this moss, y'all. You just don't know. So we'll put some media at the bottom, and then I like to spread the roots if I can, because I like to have them kind of close to the edge. So one, I can see what's going on with them. It's just, ugh, disgusting. Sorry I'm going on about this moss. It looks dirty, and I'm gonna top these off with some small bark chips, just so I don't have to look at it. And I'll put these in decorative pots as well. And I know it's gonna work just fine, but I just like the pretty lighter color. Plus the lighter one does have longer strands, whereas this really does have a lot of little pieces in it, and you have to literally go through it to get the nice strands out. So I was kind of planning to use the moss for some other projects, but they will be put on hold until, like I said, I get the moss that I really like. All right, so move that one out of the way. Now I've got a couple of pot options for our Sogo Vivienne here. Let me just rinse her off. Get some moisture onto those aerial roots real quick as well. Since we have the water, let's go ahead and do that. That'll save me from having to do it later. All right. Okay. So her root system is not as extensive. Well, the other ones weren't as extensive either, but thinking to set her maybe in there. I think she'll be okay in there for a couple of years. So, and I am going to have to go and sort through some more moss mix, and we'll be right back. So I just went ahead and potted up the Sogo Vivienne, but this is what she looks like in her new little home. I did go ahead and top off with some small bark chips. And then this is our mini mark, all nicely potted up. And I just want to show you real quick. Look at the moss here. And then look at that. Do you see the difference? This looks like soil. I mean, it's not, but it's dirty. That looks nice and healthy. And this is what this starts looking like when it's time to repot. So, like I said, I may go ahead and just switch them out. I don't know. Or I may just leave it till next spring. I should just leave it till next spring. I don't want to keep disturbing them. And something else I was going to show you guys, if you, I use a little makeup brush, one of these little flat makeup brushes, and that's what I use to clean in between, like if I'm trying to get stuff in between the crevices, just to keep them nice and clean. Just a little tip there. And then we have our Yin's Black Eagle that was working on the 2 roots at the base. And then we have our Phalaenopsis Bellina Coerulea that is working on her new leaf there. And then let's just get them all together, and there they are. So we'll just have to keep an eye out and see what happens with them. And if you think I should just leave them till next spring, or if you use this darker moss and everything is fine, can you just leave that in the comments below? And this way it'll kind of ease my mind. I've never used this for the purpose of this. I've always just used it in a mix for my Phalaenopsis. I've never used it just straight, so I don't know if it really like is any different than the lighter moss. So if you could just let me know that in the comments below, that'd be much appreciated. And again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Can't speak today. Hope you guys continue to have a great day. Stay safe, and we will see you on the next one.